Head, shoulders, knees and toes, eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, Good job, my friends. You all are doing such a good job, and it makes me so happy that I get to see you every day, even though you're not with us here at school. But you will be back again soon, and I look forward to it. All right, this morning we're going to get started with our pledge. So we have our American flag, and we're going to take our right hand and put it over our heart. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job, my friends. All right. Well, I was looking outside today and noting how beautiful it is. Who's been outside today? Anybody? Yeah, you have? Very nice, Emily. So let me ask Emily, what does it look like outside? So, did you see any clouds when you were outside? Is it rainy? Windy? No, it's sunny outside today. So, it's not even partly cloudy, it's just gorgeous and sunny with the most beautiful blue sky. So, when we're all done here, make sure you go outside and have so much fun. Go for a bike ride, go jump in the pool, go for a walk with mom and dad. Maybe if you have a dog, you can take the dog for a walk, or just go outside and blow bubbles and have fun, because it is beautiful outside. Go enjoy the day. All right, we're going to sing our phonics song. Are you ready? Because every letter, it's the alphabet song, but every letter has a specific sound that it makes. It doesn't make any other letter. The A never makes the B sound. Nope, never ever. So, are you ready? We'll sing together. Ready? The A says ah, the A says ah. Every letter makes the sound, the A says ah. We're gonna sing it a little bit faster though, ready? The B says B, the C says K, the D says D, and the E says E. The F says F, the G says G, the H says H, and the I says I. The J says J, the K says K, the L says O, and the M says M. The N says N, the O says ah, the P says P, and the Q says qu. The R says the S says S, the T says T, and the U says ah. The V says V, the W says W, the X says X, and the Y says Y. The Z says Z, and that's the sound of our friends of the alphabet. Good job, my friends. So, something I do recommend, moms and dads, if you're listening, is the Leapfrog series. It is wonderful for phonics and for math and all sorts of different things, including helping your child learn how to recognize putting the different letters together and sight words as well. So I really recommend the Leapfrog series, from the letter factory and the shapes and the colors, all the way up to the math adventures to the moon and all sorts of different things. They're really, really fun. So this morning, we're gonna read a book out of our Mr. Men series called Mr. Happy. Are you ready? On the other side of the world, where the sun shines hotter than here, where their trees are 100 feet tall, there is a country called Happy Land. And as you might very well expect, everyone who lives in Happy Land is as happy as the day is long. Wherever you go, you see smiling faces all around, and it's such a happy place that even the flowers seem to smile in Happy Land. All of the animals in Happy Land are happy as well. If you've never seen a smiling mouse, or a happy cat or a dog, or even a smiling worm, just go to Happyland. This is a story about someone who lived in Happyland who happened to be named Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy was fat and round and ever so very happy. He lived in a small cottage beside a lake at the foot of a mountain and close to the woods. One day, while Mr. Happy was walking in those woods near his home, he came across something which was really very, very exciting. There, in the trunk of one of the very tall trees, was a door. Not a very large door, but it was certainly a door. A small, narrow, yellow door. Definitely a door. I wonder who lives here, thought Mr. Happy, and he turned the handle of that small, narrow, yellow door. The door wasn't locked, and it swung open quite easily. And just inside the small, narrow, yellow door was a small, narrow, winding staircase leading down. Mr. Happy squeezed his rather large body through the rather thin doorway and began to walk down the stairs. The stairs went round and round and down and down and round and down and down and around. Finally, after a long time, Mr. Happy reached the bottom of the staircase. He looked around and he saw in front of him another small, narrow door, but this one was red. Mr. Happy knocked on the door. "Who's there?" said a voice. It was a sad, squeaky sort of a voice. "Who's there?" Mr. Happy slowly pushed open the red door, and there, sitting on a stool, was somebody who looked exactly like Mr. Happy, except that he didn't look happy at all. In fact, he looked downright miserable. "Hello," said Mr. Happy. "I'm Mr. Happy." "Oh, are you really?" sniffed the person who looked like Mr. Happy, but wasn't. "Well, my name is Mr. Miserable, and I'm the most miserable person in the world." "Why are you so miserable?" asked Mr. Happy. "Because I am," replied Mr. Miserable. "How would you like to be happy like me?" asked Mr. Happy. "I'd give anything to be happy," said Mr. Miserable, "but I'm so miserable, I just don't think I could ever be happy," he added miserably. Mr. Happy made up his mind quickly. "Follow me," he said. "Where to?" asked Mr. Miserable. "Don't argue," said Mr. Happy, and he went out through the small, narrow red door. Mr. Miserable hesitated and then followed. Up and up the winding staircase they went, up and round and round and up and round and round and up until they came back out into the woods. "Follow me," said Mr. Happy again, and they both walked through the woods back to Mr. Happy's cottage. Mr. Miserable stayed in Mr. Happy's cottage for quite a while, and during that time, the most amazing thing happened. Because he was living in Happyland, Mr. Miserable very, very slowly stopped being miserable and started to be happy. His mouth stopped turning down at the corners and very, very, very slowly started turning up at the corners. And eventually, Mr. Miserable did something that he'd never done in his whole life. He smiled, and then he chuckled, which turned into a giggle, which became a laugh. Then a big, booming, hearty, huge, giant, large, enormous laugh. And Mr. Happy was so surprised that he started to laugh as well. And both of them laughed and laughed and laughed. They laughed until their sides hurt and their eyes watered. Mr. Miserable and Mr. Happy laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. They went outside and still they laughed together. And because they were laughing so much, everyone who saw them started laughing as well. Even the birds in the trees started to laugh at the thought of somebody called Mr. Miserable who just couldn't stop laughing. And that's really the end of the story, except to say that if you ever feel as miserable as Mr. Miserable used to, you know exactly what to do, don't you? Just turn your mouth up at the corners, go on, and smile. And if you see somebody who looks so sad, you know what you can do? You can give them a big, beautiful smile. Because you know what's even more contagious than the germs we hear about these days? being happy. So next time you see somebody who looks sad, give them a big smile and share some of the happy that you have, my friends. Is that a good idea? Yes, I think so. All right, my friends. We are going to sing a song by special request this morning. It is, I want you to get up your 5 little monkeys, but it's a different 5 little monkeys than we've been singing. Ready? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now these 5 little monkeys, they're not jumping in bed. No, they're swinging from a tree. You ready? 5 little monkeys swinging from a tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Then along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as could be, and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. 4 little monkeys swinging from a tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Then along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as could be, and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. 3 little monkeys swinging from the tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Then along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as could be, and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. 2 little monkeys swinging from the tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Then along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as could be, and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. 1 little monkey swinging from the tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Then along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as could be, and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. Oh no, there's no more monkeys in the tree. The moral of the story, don't tease alligators. They don't like it. All right, my friends. So tell me, what are you going to do today?